Hello guys, welcome back to another episode review of Hollyoaks. This is called Christmas Episode 1, which was released first on all four, then later revealed and shown on air later on the week. Now this was a great episode. It mainly revolved around the Cunninghams, Tony, Diane and the kids. I really enjoyed it, guys. I really enjoyed this episode. Everyone was having the time of their lives to begin with in the episode. The characters, they were just all enjoying themselves. They were gathering around the sofa, all the Cunninghams, just opening, getting the presents ready and about to open them shortly. They were just having a conversation, a bit of banter, until Anthony, obviously it had to be Anthony, he went down to the cupboard near the kitchen area. He opened one of the cupboards up above and he spotted a burner phone which was wrapped around some red tea towel that was wrapped and almost like hidden. He knew it was obviously hidden, and he just put it in his pocket. He hid it, and because he's obviously going to investigate this. A bit clever, a bit sneaky what he done there, but at the end of the day, whoever's leaving the burner phone behind, that's even sneakier. You know, why should anyone have a burner phone? And obviously, Dee Dee just having a chat with her mum and dad, and the younger sister, she basically opened the present that Dee Dee had bought for JJ, and then Ro, who spotted the younger sister, that, hang on, what you got there? And then he saw that it's a bracelet, and on the bracelet it says, to JJ, all my love, Dee Dee. Now Dee Dee, obviously she was flabbergasted, because she saw, how the hell did they get hold of my bracelet, because she hid it under the counter. Diane, I believe it was Diane that brought the bag there under by the tree, but it was obviously later opened by their younger sister. And yes, and then obviously she quickly hid it because of the way Dee Dee panicked. That raised alarm bells for Diane, who asked, give me that, what is it? Because what, you got something to hide so bad, because it must be bad then. So it's she had to give it up, and then obviously Diane was just shocked to see the bracelet to JJ, and obviously Anthony's just there standing smiling but in shock as well. He's a good actor, credit to him. They're all the Cunninghams are, to be honest. And Ro obviously looked a bit saddened, because obviously he's like, he just wants to have a good time. He doesn't want any more family drama. So I think Diane confiscated this, but what questioned me as a viewer is, what was Dee Dee's plan? Was she just gonna leave it in the graveyard, or was she just, because obviously she's got some sort of fantasy in her head that she probably loves JJ in her mind. And he wasn't a very nice person considering what he's done, JJ, and the fact that Dee Dee, I don't know why did we miss this. Did they have a thing? They had a little bit of a thing before when JJ was actually alive. But obviously she hasn't stopped thinking about him. So she's writing him letters and stuff, and she's the one that was stalking Frankie and writing letters to Frankie, and because she doesn't want to believe that JJ was capable of such things to Frankie. Now, obviously, what Dee Dee was done is absolutely cruel, but I'm not excusing her. She's still young, she's a teenager, and JJ was a couple of years older than her, so in her mind she had a crush on an older guy that was talented, but obviously JJ led his own life down the toilet, and to end up where he ended up. And it's just, obviously Frankie's boyfriend, or this new guy that she's dating, Sully, is the one is responsible for killing JJ. That wasn't right, because no one should be killing people, and Frankie disagrees with this, because it's not natural, and what's Sully trying to do? But anyway, I'm hoping Dee Dee gets over this. It's just like a crush that hasn't ended so quick. It lasts for a very long time. Hopefully she gets the help that she needs. But Diane's obviously very, kind of very concerned about her. Obviously, Tony and Diane, they were talking about her later on, and obviously I found it quite funny when Dee Dee goes, I can hear you, and it's funny because Diane and Tony, they're only like 2 meters away from Dee Dee, and they were just talking with their backs turned on her. But anyway, Anthony came in with Roe, and he revealed later what he discovered on the burner phone, that obviously Diane's the one that's blackmailing Mercedes. And that obviously caused more drama in the Cunningham. And then obviously Diane tried to explain herself to Tony, and then little did we all know, Tony's known all along that it was Mercedes, so he's kept it quiet. That was a bit of a twist for me, I'll admit that, guys. That was a bit of a twist. And the fact that Tony's, I suppose he feels guilty because obviously during all the carnage before this, he saved Marie before Mercedes. And Marie was faking the pregnancy, and whereas Mercedes one was real, she lost a child because of the tragic accident. So I'm not excusing Mercedes. She should not be killing people, shooting people, or attempting to kill people. That's an attempted murder at the end of the day. Should she get away with it? I don't think so. But don't forget, if Tony's forgiving Mercedes and he doesn't want to carry anything on, then, it's sometimes you just got to respect that. But I wouldn't trust Mercedes. Diane, obviously in the picture you can see there, Diane, she's called the police. It's too late. She's gonna land Mercedes into it. Yeah, and Tony does. You can tell Tony with every fiber of his being, he just doesn't want Mercedes to be in trouble because he really cares about Mercedes. Part of me think he still loves her, but then again he still loves Diane. So I think he's capable of loving them both at the same time, as twisted as that sounds. It's just Tony. He's a man with that impregnated so many women in the village. Other than the Cunninghams, Jack told his son Darren that he's going to propose to Pearl, and obviously he's wearing knee pads. He's prepared for the proposal. He's going to get down on one knee. I do find it a bit awkward with Nancy and just Nancy. I know they're trying to play very happy families, Nancy and Darren, but you could tell there's a bit of awkwardness there ever since everyone found out Tony is the father of Morgan. Yeah, it's not right, and I just wish I just wish that never happened, because I think it was just unnecessary, to be honest. I do feel like, I'm sure a lot of you will agree, that part of the writing was unnecessary. Unfortunately, it was added for no reason, because Darren is Tony's best friend, and there was no inclination, anything more than platonic relationship between Nancy and Tony. They were best buddies. Nancy's husband and Tony are best buddies. It doesn't make any sense. But again, you can sense the awkwardness. Pearl's even asking, how are you and Darren? She goes, yeah, we're fine until someone reminds us of Morgan and Tony. It was just, my point is, it was just completely unnecessary writing. But hey, we'll still carry on watching Hollyoaks. We're not going to stop. So we just hope that the writers listen to us. No more crazy storylines. We want some things to make sense. We get his soap plan. Not everything needs to make sense. But if it's completely barbaric, then it just brings up a lot of questions, to be honest. And it's very hard to follow as well. So yeah, Diane's ratting out Mercedes, and I'll see you in the next episode review, which will be Christmas episode 2. Peace.